What's up, y'all? It's Precision coming at y'all with a Sparking Zero video. This video is going to be my neutral tips and tricks slash advanced tips and tricks in general. And I want to start off this video first with kind of just like speaking before showing. I'm still going to be doing random shit on the screen, but what I mean by that is my first important tip, which I've even re-recorded this video just to make it my first tip, is watching your ki. You want to make sure you're watching your ki. Let's say even especially in low ranks, if you're a low rank player and you can get a handle on mastering your ki usage, you're gonna skyrocket in the ranks. And the reason for that is because of the vanish wars in this game. If you can make a person get into a vanish war while you have the ki advantage and you have the skill to consistently vanish, then you're gonna win a lot of the games because you can do a lot of damage. Basically, you do a lot of damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could do 5, which is the step down circle, and that's with like 7 DP characters. That's about 8k damage, and let's say you hit a super, bro, like you doing like 12k damage. So you definitely want to make sure you're watching ki, make sure you're trying not to get into a ki vanish war with the person if you're at lower ki. And another part of your resources is that little skill bar that says 6, and not actually, don't even worry about that. What I meant was the yellow sign. That is what's most important, and that's because when you transform, you can't switch. So let's say I'm base Kale and I try to transform into this guy right here, Super Kale as we'll call her, Berserk Kale, Broly Kale. I'm not gonna be able to switch. So if I transform and I only have 2 bars of health, and then this Jiren beats me up, I'm dead. And in DP battle, the more characters you have, the more likely you're gonna win, because you're probably not going to lose a character if you play defensive knowing that you took their character. So make sure you are paying attention to your ki. Make sure you're paying attention when you transform. Don't just transform because you have enough bars or whatever. Make sure you're paying attention to that. I would say obviously pay attention to the skill count, and that's because when you're trying to perception stuff like this, it's in the tutorial, but all fighting game tutorials for the most part are ass. That uses a bar of meters, so if you're playing against a good player, you might want to have 1 or 2 of these on deck. So you might not even want to insta sparking once you get 3. You might want to wait till 4 just in case, so you have 1 perception just to counter back someone, smash attack or whatever. Like these charge attacks, I'm pretty sure are called smash attacks. Another thing is don't play with any of the assists besides recovery assists. No auto blocking, no combo, no auto combos. Learn how to combo yourself. Make sure you're learning your character's triangle chains. They're very important. The rolling hammer, which is this one right here, the little turnaround, that's very important, and so is the gut punch. The gut punch are like, those are 2 of the best ones. Make sure you're using those with your characters. Another tip I've got is homing dashing up and down to evade. And what I mean by that is, if you guys have been in the community paying attention, there was the Android 19 and Dr. Giro clip where the dude was in sparking and they were just going up and down. And the main point of that was to show that he wasn't using ki, in my opinion, but it was also to show how you could dodge stuff. Sparking zero stuff, how you can dodge sparking mode. So you definitely want to start doing that when you see someone spark, to dodge a little bit. Now don't do it, oh, I'm just gonna do it up and down the whole time, because someone might catch you, but you might be able to do this 1, 2, 3 and then charge a bit because they're kind of like, what the hell, and run away. That's like a thing I do all the time. Another thing with the dragon dash I like to do is let's say we're like scrapping and he's blocking all this and I'm sidestepping and whatever. Sometimes I'll just dash away real quick and charge. Another thing I want to mention is to make sure you know that charge ki blast beat normal ki. So I want to mention this real quick for one reason, and that reason is because let's say someone's spamming ki blast from right here. You could do a charge ki blast into this and you're behind them, and that in general right here, what I just showed you, the dash, that's so important with the ki blast. Like, make sure you're doing this. I learned it from this YouTuber named Dom Coolio. He's really dope. He has like 2k subs. You should follow him. But ki blasting, if someone deflects this right here or gets hit, you can get behind them. Like, look at that. Easy free combo. Or at least until they super counter it or whatever. So make sure you're practicing this. Like, you can do 1, 2 into it. You can do 1 into a charge ki blast. So you can go boom, boom, and then do a dragon dash and get their back. Make sure you're throwing that out to keep them on their toes. Now, a way they can counter you, which you should also start doing, is if they do block it, they can step to the side, of course, and punish it. Another way you can punish that is dashing up and down. You can counter the dragon dash by doing that. There's multiple ways, so don't be too predictable with it. Another thing I want to talk about is the things called true knockdowns, which I learned from this YouTuber named Neo God Goku. They're not real true knockdowns, but there's this animation where they kind of, if you're looking at the camera, because I got my face cam on, they do this spinning animation with, like, if you look at my hand, it's like a barrel roll. I'll show you right now. I'm gonna do the kick up. When I do the second kick up, he's gonna do the spin right there. Now, that spin is very important, because if you don't tech that spin, you're gonna slam into the ground and not be able to do anything. And what a lot of high rank people are doing is they're doing that, and if you don't tech it, it's basically a free super, because when you bounce off the ground, it's really hard to vanish, like damn near impossible. So make sure you're teching that. The way to tech it, I'm not sure, but I do have a way to do it, so tap in. The way you do it is spin your stick and spam R1. If you spin your stick and spam R1 knowing someone's about to do like a double smash attack or something and get that animation, you'll get out of it and be able to block, and maybe you won't miss a bar of your health. So another thing I want to mention is jumping at round start. So you could jump backwards, you can jump forwards, or you can just jump neutrally. Usually what I do is jump backwards and dash, because if you dash, you'll stay in the air, as you can see. If you don't dash, you'll just fall to the ground. So make sure when you are jumping at round start, you do a little dash. Or I think also you can just press R1 again, or L1, my bad. So yeah, if you just tap it twice, you can stay in the air, and then you've got a lot of options from there. You can just block, you can go in or whatever. The main point though is that you're safe. So jumping from round start, for 99% of the time, you're going to be safe. Another thing I want to teach you guys about is what I've dubbed the rock, paper, scissors of this game. And what I mean by that is when you're up close, there's basically 3 things that are going to happen when you're getting pressured or pressuring. So the first thing that's going to happen is the perception, whether you're baiting it with your mash, like your own mash right here, which is something I recommend doing because a lot of people love to mash in this game. Just do something like this real quick. 1, 2, 3 perception, because someone might be trying to super counter because you have to flick up and press square. That's another reason they might be mashing. So make sure you're trying to bait the perception. But that's the rock, right? The paper of the perception would be the key blast. So if rock is perception, if rock is perception, paper is key blast, and scissors would be patience. And what I mean by patience is if someone is key blasting your perception, what you want to really do is guard it and perception it back, like they're mashed back, because they're not going to do this forever because it's wasted key. They're probably going to do something like this. What you're going to do is be patient. That's scissors. You're going to want to be patient and perception it. That's the rock, paper, scissors of this game. If you need to rewind to hear that, you should, because once you understand that, your eyes will be open, your brain will be unlocked, and you'll see what a lot of people are doing, and it's not going to be that special to you anymore. Another thing I want to talk about is option selecting. If you don't know what option selecting is, it's multiple options that will cover you that you can do at once. But let's say if you're perceptioning, right, you don't want to get grabbed, you can be mashing R1. I'm like, look, I'm doing both of them at the same time. So you can tech it and vice versa. You can be blocking and mashing this to get a super counter or a sonic sway or something like that. Another tip that I should have put at the beginning, but I'm not going to re-record unless I mess up, is this is very important, so listen up. Let's say someone dragon dashes you, right? You can block and it will turn you around, and that applies to anything. So if you guys are in a battle and people are doing this a lot, which is going to happen, they're trying to get your back. That's the whole point of this game right now, to get a full combo for the most part, is get your back. You're going to want to be mashing, or strategically mashing, I'd like to say, R1/perception, because it will turn you around, and that is very important. If someone's, oh, I'm always getting hit from behind, one of the ways you can try not to get hit from behind is when you're getting hit and you know they're about to do this on block, is just press R1 again. Maybe press that and then press circle. What I usually do is press R1 into circle because it's the safest counter. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're using R1 to turn around, whether it's a dragon dash or anything you need to turn around. Another thing I've got is knowing your DP values. And what I mean by that is if you have a 2 DP character, you might not want to have him versing a Jiren. You know what I mean? Because Jiren does more damage. And then on top of that, the higher the DP, the longer it takes to switch out in DP cost battles. So make sure you know your DP values because they can be very important. A Roshi might get obliterated damn near in one combo against a Gogeta. So make sure you are paying attention to that. Another thing I want to say, which I'm not sure if I said at the beginning, is don't transform. I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah, don't transform when you're about to die. Like, make sure you save that little resource to switch and not die unless you have to transform because it's your last character or something. And the last thing I want to talk about is learning flanks, and it's just getting behind someone's back. It could be the gut punch flank where you do this and then you're behind someone's back. They can R1 that most of the time, but not all the time. Another flank is this right here. I learned from a YouTuber. I would Google just like flanks and stuff like that or practice your own. Is something like this. Now I know that looks icy because it is. Another way you could do a flank is with this vanish right here. You can vanish back, sidestep, and key blast in, and then you've got their back. And that's very good against people who are just standing still and perceptioning and all that. So make sure you're learning your flanks. Now I'm basically in the video because that's all I got written on my Google Docs. I definitely am going to make some more specific videos. Like, I might make a video specifically for this because I want people to click on it and make sure people are doing this tech. Like, this is very good tech. The more good tech we do, the better the player base gets, and the more tech we'll find out because we'll be incentivized to get better. So I hope y'all have a good day. Make sure you're not rage quitting on sparking, and I'm out of here.